An asymmetric spinnaker is stowed and launched from a built-in chute at the bow or pouches either side of a mast. The bowsprit is normally retracted when the asymmetric is not being used, and so it has to be extended when the sail is hoisted. To hoist, the helmsman bears away to a broad reach while the crew pulls the halyard, which in many systems also extends the pole as well as hoisting the sail. The process is reversed to drop the sail. An asymmetric spinnaker is trimmed using two sheets, just like a jib. The crew must avoid oversheeting the sail and try to keep it trimmed with a slight curl in the luff for maximum speed. An asymmetric is inefficient when sailing on a dead run, so sailing downwind is done in a series of reaches and jibes. Jibing an asymmetric spinnaker is a relatively simple process, but it still requires good timing and coordination between helmsman and crew. An asymmetric spinnaker is jibed just like a jib. The crew lets out one sheet as she pulls in the other. Avoid a twist developing in the sail by holding the old sheet in tight until the boat is jibed, then pulling quickly on the new sheet to pull the sail around the forestay to the new leeward side. A conventional spinnaker is symmetrical and has the windward sheet, called the guy, led through the end of a movable spinnaker pole, which is attached to the mast. When the boat is jibed, the pole must be moved across the boat and attached to the spinnaker's other clew. The helmsman usually hoists a conventional spinnaker, whilst the crew fits the pole to the guy and to the ring on the mast, then adjusts the angle of the pole with the guy and takes the sheet to trim the sail. To lower the spinnaker, the crew removes the pole from the mast and brings it back into the boat, unclipping it from the guy and stowing it in the boat. She then pulls on the guy to bring the sail within reach and, as the helmsman lowers the halyard, she packs the sail into the stowage pouch. Jibing a conventional spinnaker is more complicated than an asymmetric. To jibe, the helmsman bears away to a run and the crew pulls the pole back to set the sail square across the bow of the boat. When the mainsail has been jibed, the crew removes the spinnaker pole from the mast and the old guy, clips it to the new guy and to the ring on the mast. She then adjusts the guy to set the pole angle to suit the new course and takes a sheet to trim the sail. So remember, bear away to a broad reach or run before hoisting an asymmetric. Jibe an asymmetric by pulling it across the boat with the new sheet. A conventional spinnaker has a pole that needs adjusting to trim the sail. The spinnaker pole must be moved to the new windward side during a jibe. Sail on a run or very broad reach to hoist and lower a conventional spinnaker. Many high-performance dinghies use one or more trapezes to allow the crew to move their weight further out of the boat. A trapeze is a wire running from a mast just above the shrouds, with a ring at its bottom end. The ring attaches to a hook on a trapeze harness. Using a trapeze is not difficult, but it requires practice and a degree of athleticism. To swing out on the trapeze, sit on the side deck and hook the trapeze ring onto the hook on your harness. Bend your front leg and put your foot on the gunnel. Let the trapeze wire take your weight and push out, bringing your aft foot out to the gunnel. Straighten your legs and back to maximise the leverage. Practice this with a good helmsman, who will need to trim the main sheet to adjust the power to keep the boat upright as you practice moving in and out. Some very high-performance dinghies have trapezes for both helmsman and crew. Here, the need for coordination is even more vital, and it will take considerable practice to be able to tack smoothly in a twin trapeze boat. Tacking a trapeze dinghy requires good communication between helmsman and crew. The helmsman must give the crew time to swing in from the trapeze before the tack, and must control the power using the main sheet to keep the boat upright while the crew is not out on the trapeze. The crew must develop a routine for swinging in and unhooking, crossing the boat and dealing with the jib sheets, and swinging out and hooking on again on the new side. When you're experienced, you will be able to swing out before hooking on and unhook before swinging in to speed up your movements through the tack. So remember, learn to trapeze with an experienced helmsman. Sit on the side deck and hook onto the ring. Let the trapeze take your weight, sit out and put your front foot on the gunnel. Push out of your front foot and bring your aft foot to the gunnel. To tack, swing in and unhook in time to duck under the boom. One of the great things about sailing is the huge variety of boats and types of sailing there is to choose from. Before you make a decision about which is best for you, try out some of the types you haven't sailed before. If you started sailing in a two-person boat, you could try a single-hander, a catamaran, or one of the new breed of high-performance dinghy. You could also try a day-racing keelboat or a cruiser, or racing yacht. There are a lot of alternatives to choose from. The best way to extend your experience is to join a club and meet other sailors with whom you can crew on different boats. You could also book a holiday at one of the many water sports centres around the world, where you can try out a range of boats in a short time. Sail safely and enjoy your sailing, whatever boat you choose.